So I just took Karome, and now I'm going after the leader of my own commentary group. I asked myself how sane I am, but then I remember I'm a commentator. Plus split personality and all that. Okay, so Naitaidai, also known as J. Foxwell. He made a commentary on my 20th commentary, the second one on HDVE. When I first heard about it, I was anticipating it since I couldn't really see much wrong with that video. When it came out, however, I wanted to go into my room and waste myself eating ice cream. Anyway, let's just start this train wreck. Hit it!
So stop me if you've heard this one.
I have, and it's not worth hearing. Skip!
Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside.
More than 5 months. And now I'm up to my 20th commentary. I believe I've improved since that commentary. I care more about my editing. My points usually aren't complete and are garbage. I have a background that doesn't stand out in a negative manner. I believe a lot has changed. One thing, however, has not. My constant need to call out bad PokeTubers.
Because every PokeTuber is as bad as Dobbs, am I right?
Was that a joke? No, legit, was that a joke? Okay, now before you bring up his inflection and how his voice was higher than normal, I'd like to point to the screenshot taken on Skype where Foxwell says it was half and half, meaning some semblance of that was meant to have a point. With that being said, what was the point of that? Why bring up Dobbs? When did I say all PokeTubers were bad? As a joke, as well as a point, it failed. You get an F. Make sure to study more in joke class next time, and you may just pass. Now this video is special. See, if you remember my first commentary, it was on HDVE, a rather mediocre PokeTuber. So, to celebrate my 20th commentary, I'm going to be covering him. Again! Trust me, this video needs to get ripped apart for the disaster it is. Now, to find a proper avatar. Perfect!
Dragon Wheel.
The frick? Foxwell, what made you think this was acceptable? You left this piece of my video in for what reason? To confuse me? To make me wonder if this is relevant to something later on? If so, you clever little bat.
Hey guys, HDV here. Now, in a fictional world where the entire economy is driven by legalized cockfighting, being a Pokemon really sucks. As a Pokemon, it's your inevitable fate to be captured, forced into fights, beaten to death, have your bones picked clean, and be resurrected for more of the same.
Well shoot, are we talking about regular Pokemon or are we talking about freaking Nuzlockes?
No. Seriously? Was there any point to that? You already made a serviceable joke, Jonah.
Okay, I'm aware I'm cutting Foxwell off a bit here, but something about this bugs me. So I made a joke. Does that mean I'm not able to boot off a previous one? Especially since said joke makes sense given the context of bringing up Nuzlockes. A certain place through where Wobbuffets are especially dangerous. I mean, who needs Boba Fett when you could get Wobbuffet, am I right? Everybody's a critic.
There really was no need for you to add that bit of cringe comedy there. I'm calling it cringe because that's exactly what it was. Cringe. Not sure if that was intentional, but if it was, don't do it ever again. And if you weren't going for cringe comedy, well, that's a whole other issue.
So you're going to say my joke is cringy, and then not go on to explain why it is in the slightest. Is this a thing now? You can just call something cringe with providing reasoning? Okay then. Foxwell, using Delphox. That's cringy. Your voice is also pretty monotone. Also cringy. Everything is cringy. Deal with it. Also, cringe comedy can work. So, what's the problem? It's almost like in a case like this, you need to explain what a joke's failed, and not just say, "Lol, don't do cringe comedy again."
Dragon Wheel.
Starting things off and claiming the number 10 spot in today's video is Coughing and Wheezing. These two Pokemon are essentially balloons full of gas. Not only do they emit a poisonous gas as a weapon—
Objection!
Oh!
No!
Didn't your mother ever tell you not to interrupt people when they're speaking?
I don't know, didn't your mother ever teach you that as commentators we can interject whenever we see fit and there's a time and place to cut others off? No? Then sit down. Or play dead. That works too. Sorry, but your wording screws you over royally here. So, wheezing and coughing emit these poisonous gases as weapons? Let me say that again. a weapon, implying they can voluntarily release those gases.
Well, yeah, for attacks, like poison gas. You know, sort of the whole way villainous teams use them to battle in the games and the anime.
There once was a famous archer named Naitaidai. He was in a contest to prove he was the best, and yet he failed. Wasn't able to hit the bullseye as intended. In other words, he missed the point. Let's consider the list. Top 10 worst Pokemon to have as pets. As pets. As pets! The point I was trying to prove was that it can do it of its own free will. And if you keep it as a pet, you can discipline it to not release the gases. Something I say later in this same exact video. This also just ends up making you bringing up villainous teams all the more confusing as they have no reason to be really brought up. Meaning it would need a reason to release said weapon. If this sounds confusing, don't worry, you might just want to remember this segment for later on.
But they actively seek out hot garbage and filth to fuel their disgusting sack-like bodies.
You know, I'm happy we're not a debate team of sorts, because if we were, I'd have the full right to call you a stinking traitor.
What was that joke about the fact that wheezing and coughing stink? Because the way you worded it made it sound like you were talking about HD.
The funny thing is, you're right. I was referring to HDV, and you would have actually known that had you not cut me off. You ended up just giving a reason why wheezing and coughing would be good as pets. But the way you worded it, wheezing and coughing are basically floating street sweepers. They get rid of this hot garbage and filth, meaning that's one less mess the owner would need to clean up. Unless you're some kind of masochist, I would advise to avoid cutting people too much. The blood ends up getting everywhere.
Speaking from experience, are we?
Be careful, because these guys can easily explode and ruin all of your furniture, and that is definitely one mess that you do not want to clean up. I'm pretty sure I'd pass on having these two Pokemon as pets.
Okay, so I decided to go to Wikipedia and your claim is half right. Yes, coughing has the unfortunate ability of just exploding randomly instead of multiple entries in the Pokedex. However, the same can't be said for wheezing. Not once can I find any entries talking about how it could blow up out of nowhere, and really, the only reason it would is if you ask wheezing to use explosion to go Alu Akbar on your derriere.
Derriere? Really? I know you try to avoid cursing, but seriously?
Oh, hi, Disco Damon. How are you on this fine and dandy day? Yeah, I'm not sure when he added this character that's an alternate personality of his, but it really does feel like something that Midnight Anubis is doing with his Damon character. I'm honestly getting flashbacks when everybody in the Bronouncers community had dark alter egos of themselves.
Literally, nobody cares! Now, I'm going to be skipping to the next point, but just one thing real quick. Foxwell, you said I made Neos because other popular commentators have done this. Emphasis on commentators. I'm putting an emphasis on this, since as to my knowledge, Midnight Anubis is the only commentator who has done this. 1 isn't the same thing as 2. Can't you count?
Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside.
Coming in at the number 8 spot in today's video is Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is a nauseating Pokemon, but awesome if you like an artist as a pet. Jigglypuff will sing you to sleep and then draw on your face like some kind of dude bro at a frat party.
No! Stop right there! ATV! Let's take this in consideration. How many Jigglypuff actually do this? I'm sorry, there's only one! That one being in the anime, and only one single Jigglypuff alone.
Spoilers. Bring up the enemy, will bite him in the butt later. But for now. Yeah, your point? It's obvious from the pictures that HD used that he was using the Jigglypuff from the anime as an example. So I went back to HD's original video to see if he skipped over anything in the beginning. I saw absolutely nothing that said they are making it be used as a reference for his video. Considering what you do later on, I have to question why you dismissed the validity of his number 8 segment.
I don't know, maybe I dismissed it because this list is in the Pokemon as a whole. When you think it over, bringing up the anime version of Jigglypuff, and only that version, just makes the list worse because there was no specific criteria. I also like to bring up how poor your wording is. It's obvious from the pictures of HDU that he was using the anime as an example. An example. So an example of a Jigglypuff then. Something I then debunk soon afterwards. Now perhaps I'm wrong, and if I am, feel free to go Phoenix Wright on me. But still, that was pretty poor wording on your part.
Dragon Wheel.
Coming in at the number 7 spot in today's top 10 video is Mr. Mime, confirming that there is no god in Pokemon World.
But we have Mudkip. Everybody knows Mudkip is the Pokemon god.
Mr. Mime
Why was this left in? This is the same type of stuff you got in people like Blasty for. Say something, because right now, I'm giving up on you. Kind of like America right now.
is a Pokemon based on mankind's least favourite type of entertainment. If there were a Mr. Splinter Removal or a Mr. Igooch, they would undoubtedly be more bearable than Mr. Mime. who is good at nothing but pretending it's trapped in a box, then slapping you if you interrupt its act.
Is it just me, or does this entry feel like it has a bit of spite into it? Like, seriously, for one, mankind's least favorite form of entertainment. Yeah, congrats on speaking for everybody, chum. And with the whole slap you if you interrupt its act. Did you have some issues with mime as a child?
It's so hard to tell if you're joking or being serious. But then, who am I to talk, right?
Was your dad mime?
A bit dark, don't you think?
Says the edgelord. So you say that it's hard to tell when I'm joking or being serious, and then cut back to me, showing that it was indeed in fact a joke. Ah! Ah!
And as we can see in the Pokemon anime, Mr. Mime is just annoying to be around.
Yes, you can clearly see on Mr. Mime as an annoyance to be around to an image of Mr. Mime using cooking utensils. And finds this particular Mr. Mime can be useful in domestic activities.
Well, I'd certainly consider getting a vacuum cleaner in my face to be annoying.
No excuse. That example still doesn't work considering I was referencing the pictures that HDV himself was showing in the video, none of which showed Mr. Mime being annoying. Heck, you showing this actually makes my point even better, considering that means HDV could have had an image to back up his claim, but didn't take enough time to search for one. Congratulations, Foxwell. You have the enemy team. You are now a traitor to your country. So run.
Yeah, see how bringing up the anime screws you over now? Oh, I'm sure you will.
And I'll be there to prove you wrong.
I really do feel sorry for Delia sometimes.
Yes, because Delia has to deal with a handy helper, we should all feel sorry for her. And one other thing, Mr. Mime is a mime Pokemon. In other words, barriers for days. Good luck trying to rob a trainer's house with a dome around it.
Yeah, and good luck getting out of your house when it's surrounded by invisible walls.
That hypothetical doesn't even really work, considering more than likely Mr. Mime could simply get rid of the barrier itself, since it was created by, well, Mr. Mime. Especially when in this hypothetical, it's a pet, usually listens to their master if they have a good bond. Also, your example doesn't even debunk my hypothetical situation. I have to ask, was your script checked for this video?
Maybe a slave checked it. For Chirpbox? Who am I kidding? If Chirp could do that, a trifle earning would be good.
Dragon Wheel!
Coming in at the number 6 spot in today's top 10 video is Diglett and Dugtrio. This one is pretty self-explanatory if you think about it. Wherever these Pokemon go, dirt would follow them, seeing as the rest of their bodies are underground. It would be hell to clean up after these brown moles, leaving a mess everywhere they go. And don't even think about getting a new carpet with these guys around. It won't be lasting long. However, if you like spending your whole day cleaning, then hey, these Pokemon are probably for you.
Dang it, V, you idiotic simpleton. Let's try playing a game of good old logic again.
Okay, I bet HD will get the most points.
This carpet joke is the pinnacle of not understanding jack shit. Tell me, how would Dugtrio even be able to get inside the house?
What? You can't be serious. By tunneling in. Through the floor, which would ruin the carpet. As HD just said, are you honestly ignoring arguments just to go, now?
Let me finish.
Well, yeah, Pokeballs are a thing, but given how Dugtrio is constantly in the ground, the only way they could get in would be digging some kind of pathway into your house. If that's the case, then you have more issues to worry about than just dirt.
Okay, seriously? Not only do you end up making the same point I used against HDB, but you cut me off again and make me look invalid. Screw it, I'm skipping every time he ends up doing this because gosh dang it is this comment throughout the video.
Wake me up inside! Wake me up inside!
It constantly drools sticky sap, and its eyes appear to be swollen shut from its own pollen. If you're an allergy sufferer, you may as well just lay down and die right now. Your house would forever smell thanks to this Pokemon, so best stay away from it.
May I ask you a question? Of course you may, Misty. I was wondering why we can all sit with Gloom. I always thought that because of its terrible smell, it was almost impossible to get anywhere near Gloom. So how come this Gloom doesn't smell bad to me at all? That's a very smart question, Misty. Gloom doesn't have a bad smell all the time. Whenever Gloom is in danger, it lets out the bad smell.
Oops, did I leave that clip there?
You sure did. So it isn't okay for HD to supposedly reference the anime, but it's okay for you to use a clip from the anime to try and disprove him? Can I call hypocrisy? Because this feels like hypocrisy.
Actually, yes. Yes it is. Consider this. HDV used the anime to back up his points, meaning he considers it a reliable source. I used a clip from the anime itself to prove why his point is wrong. This is in the case of hypocrisy, Foxwell. Why can't commentators actually realize what hypocrisy is? The clip that clearly states that Gloom's odor is a smell of self-defense, as said in the anime itself, as well as supported by its Ruby Pokédex entry.
Then why didn't you just use the Ruby Pokédex entry instead of the anime clip?
For multiple types of proof. What is this? Nitpick the commentary? Wait, that wasn't even that funny.
Wake me up inside! Wake me up inside!
Coming in at the number 4 spot in today's top 10 video is Magnemite and Magneton. Even though they look like robots, these Pokemon have actually been around for only 3,000 years, which can only mean that they're pure evil and here to destroy us.
You know, this sentence makes me want to believe that this section is meant as a joke. However, it's hard to tell when your voice is monotone as frick.
Why, hello, Pot.
Like seriously, your tone barely ever changes throughout the video, and when Watch Mojo can have more emotion in the video, well then, Houston, we've got a problem.
You leave my home city out of this, you hear, boy?
Now, because of how terribly bad the tone is, I'm going to refer to this as if it was an actual point. So, because the Pokemon have been around for about 3,000 years, that means they're evil. That's stupid. You're stupid. I honestly don't understand this logic.
It was a joke. It wasn't meant to be taken seriously. Even I could tell he was joking. Why are you focusing so much on this? Why is this the third time I've interjected on this segment? I should really stop this before I dry out the video.
Too late! Although I think you might need to get the gigantic ears of yours checked, because I clearly said that it's hard to tell, so I'm going to be referring to it as it were a point. Now, I'm skipping forward a bit because I can only hear the "it's a joke" argument enough times before I feel I'm in an infinite loop. Infinite loop. Infinite?
I'm great, you broke him. I didn't even think that was possible. Either way, great job, Boswell.
Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside.
And no, I can actually argue for reasons why Magnemite would make a good pet. Think about it. Electrics have been shown to control the amount of electricity they can emit in the anime. So, when you think about it, Magnemite can supply a trainer with a suitable amount of energy. So in a way, you have a battery that follows you.
And yet, you argue against his Jigglypuff segment because he showed pictures from the anime. Plus, he said they could potentially overload and blow out the hard drive of any computer.
What? How does this affect anything? I never mentioned the anime, nor was it relevant to the topic at hand. That being why Magnemite would make a good pet. And as for the hard drive complaint, I again address this later on in the video with training. Was my video only available for one viewing? If so, you desperately need a refund. What? Were you expecting a $7 joke? What, do you consider me some kind of fool who can't make decent jokes without relying on another CC meme? Darn you all.
Claiming the number 3 spot in today's top 10 video is Mewtwo. Some might argue that all cats have been genetically engineered to be evil, but Mewtwo is the heartless and cruel result of Pokemon gene splicing, designed for nothing but fighting. He's smarter than you, stronger than you, and doesn't care how you feel about it. Try having that as a pet and you'll be one eating out of a bowl on the floor. Definitely a Pokemon to stay away from if you're trying to find that lovable companion.
Implying that Mewtwo is incapable of having feelings. Implying that you can't train Mewtwo to form at least a bond with humans to see in both the first Pokemon movie and the Genetic movie.
Well, a lot of the Pokédex entries talk about how Mewtwo is hostile and vicious. The entire reason that Mewtwo isn't so brilliant cave at the end of the games in the first place is because it's so aggressive and hungry for battle. Pokemon Origins even portrays it as being mindlessly aggressive.
Okay, so I'm cutting off Boxwell here because he showed the clip from the Pokemon movie without actually, you know, editing it to prevent copyright, that being the reason the video was taken down. You scrub. But he shows a clip from the Pokemon anime where Mewtwo blows up the ships and kills all the scientists. Now, this point, I'm willing to give you the Pokedex entries, but then you bring up the movie. Let's take this into consideration. Mewtwo wakes up and doesn't have any idea what his purpose in life is. That will cause immense psychological pain, and while it doesn't excuse what Mewtwo did, there's at least a reason for it.
Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside.
Oh yeah, I definitely want Mewtwo as a pet. Also, we never get an explanation about why the Mewtwo in the Genesect movie could maybe evolve. It just could.
You miss a point of what I meant by bonds. Bonds don't always equal mega evolution. Bond can just be a positive relationship between two living beings, and given how both Mewtwo's became friends with Ash at the ending of both movies, it really didn't debunk my point. Like at all. I'm skipping the next point and going on to the next, because I really don't want to go on a rant about leaving in footage that's not related to the point. Again!
Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside.
A Jinx is the size of a large human, so it would take up a lot of space, and it would never stop singing and trying to kiss you. Jinx is so horrible that its appearance actually caused 3 episodes of the show to be banned from airing in the United States. That's right, this Pokemon is so bad that it almost broke Pokemon itself.
And with that, the list ends. So, what did we learn from that, children? Did you say that simply because of a Pokemon's beauty, something that's completely subjective that can be deemed as a terrible pet?
Hell if I know, you said the video ends there. Although from what I did get, HD thinks Jinx is a bad Pokemon because it was the subject of some controversy.
Yeah, let's never mind how HEV brought up Jinx is hot, or that he'll probably try kissing you constantly. No, he focuses primarily on controversy. Listen to Fox, everybody. He knows exactly what he's talking about. In me now!
Can't! Somebody is restraining me from doing that at the moment. Well, yes, kid, you're alright. You get an F. This segment made me want to physically hurt myself. With all the other entries, I could at least see the issue that could cause the harm of the owner. That's not what I see here. All I see here is a man complaining about a Pokemon's design as it's the most important thing in the board.
A Jinx is the size of a large human, so it would take up a lot of space, and it would never stop singing and trying to kiss you. Jinx is so horrible that its appearance actually caused 3 episodes of the show to be banned from airing in the United States.
Yeah, the only thing I got about design bias was at the last part there.
So you admit he talked about something other than controversy. What is it, Foxwell?
Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside.
Well, I'm not going to say that HC's video was good. It was still a top 10 list, and those often tend to be subjective rather than objective. This is sort of why I steer away from commentating on top 10 lists. Unless the target says something that is factually inaccurate to the franchise they're discussing, commentaries on list videos more or less boil down to, "Nuh-uh, my onion is better than your onion."
Oh, hey there, Discount Bone Slayer!
This is why most countdowns do not make good commentary material, because unless they actually got information wrong, or based what they were saying on an omission of information, or had criteria that contradicted itself, something like that, then really all you can do is disagree.
Remember, kids, and Saradust, plagiarism is bad.
I honestly couldn't find anything that HT said that was factually wrong.
Weezy not being able to blow up automatically, Wilma always making the foul odor, the latter being a point that you yourself addressed. Anyway, I'm ending this video here because I really have nothing more to say. Fox, we're gonna be blunt here, it's maybe one of the worst commentaries of 2017. My main issue with this commentary is how most of your arguments seem to be nothing more than just minor nitpicks, and at times missing my points entirely. And what is maybe your best edited video today, I still found issues such as leaving in a footage, and a growing pet peeve of mine, that being the limited amount of pics you have for your avatars. I know you can do better than this, Foxwell. I have to see much better work from you in the future. Anyway, this is Jonah, saying reflect.